you.
Oh, okay, yeah. So we are live. Okay, so hi all the viewers. We have along with us Martin. He's my, I say, Argentinian family. And it was great being there and spending time with his family, his kids, who I was just talking prior to this session. They are quite old now, and his daughter is which is the youngest one. She's as old as my daughter. So it was very nice catching up after a long time. So Martin, you have studied in France, you have studied in US, of course in Argentina. So Martin joins us from Argentina, the land of my favorite revolutionary Che Guevara, and of course, football is religion there. So
Yeah,
people
of
know
course.
more Argentina from football, and
Now
of
more than
course the
ever.
dance. Yeah, and of course the dance style and the food is nice also. So Martin, if you could just talk about what are you doing in the present role, which is with the Stellantis. And I was just reading
Okay.
Stellantis owns one of the largest group of brands of cars. Yeah, so if you could
Yeah.
just talk about your present activities.
First of all, good afternoon for everyone. Here in Argentina is 7:30 in the morning, so I think that for you is in the afternoon. Sidata says, my name is Martin Ludueña. I'm 46, by the way. I'm a father of three children. I think that is the most important job that you can have. I'm now working for Stellantis. Previous to that, I worked for 20 years for Volkswagen Group, okay, the German company. So I've been working for the last 7 years for Stellantis. Stellantis is a merge between ex Fiat Chrysler Automobile and also Peugeot Citroën Group. Now we have a new company called Stellantis. Maybe you don't know this company by the name, but I'm sure that you know Fiat, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Peugeot, Citroën, Opel, DS. We have 14 brands under the umbrella of Stellantis. And I'm pretty sure that in the very short time, we're going to have a lot of more brands. We are going to have a lot of more product because this is a really new, a vibrant company. As I was saying before, for you, Siddhartha, it's like a being working in a global startup. It's just 2 years old company. We are creating everything, so we have a lot of challenges to keep growing to achieve our result. Just for you to know, we are about 300,000 employees. It's a really, really
Wow,
big and challenging
big.
company for us. And in South America
Oh,
is the number one. We have about 30% market share in the region. So
wow.
that's what I'm doing. I'm the manager of an area called Work Life Finance. My job there is really linked to digital transformation. Okay, I'm the guy who goes there and understand the processes, what we are doing well in the finance area, in the finance department, what we are doing well, what we can improve, how we can use technology to improve our processes, how we can train our people to give them more tool to help them with the digital mindset change. Okay, as you know, I know that we are not here to talk about digital transformation, but digital transformation is all about people. It's not about technology. It's not about tools. It's all about people's mindset. So that's what I'm doing: working with technology, with processes, working most of the time with people, trying to understand people, trying to understand processes, and how can help them to achieve a better stage of work.
Okay. So Martin, if you could just talk about your early education and how did you narrow down onto this particular area of finance management and also in
Okay,
supply chain, which, yeah.
my career is a little bit weird for everyone because I'm not coming from the economics. Okay, I'm a electromechanical technician. Okay, I work in a factory as a blue collar worker for 10 years. I study Volkswagen plants during 2 years at the secondary school. Then I had everything for to go for engineering, but I didn't like it. I didn't like to be in the plant, so I choose to study economics, administration. I got my background in administration in 2006. But when I was working at the plant as a blue collar worker, somebody told me, okay, you know what? There is a open position in the finance area. Okay, just take me there. And I started working there at the account payable area. And then I climbed my ladder up until being in chair of the P&L results and presentation for the directors. And I worked 7 years there, being in chair of the result. And then one day I decided that, okay, it's good enough for me, Volkswagen. I need a bigger place. So I started working at that moment, Fiat Chrysler Automobile in the FP&A, financial planning analysis area. And then I became manager in this regional South America area called World Finance. When I was at the university, I understand, okay, this is something that I really like to do. Not as a numbers, I love numbers. I know how to do any finance job position, but I like more about processes and change. And then I pursued my MBA. I did my MBA back in 2007 and 8. Then I got the opportunity to go to ESSEC in France, where I met you. I did part of my MBA there at ESSEC in Paris. When I came back to Argentina, our director at the MBA, he said, you know what, there is an opportunity to go to MIT to apply for a postgraduate course. And I said, okay, I'm in. I go there, I present my profile, I did some interviews, I did some exam, and they say, okay, you can come here. Then I achieved my global supply chain management graduation at MIT. I can say that was a really, really intensive professional experience. Okay. When I compare my days at ESSEC and my days in MIT, I like to say that ESSEC for me was a life experience. Okay. My mind changed, the way I see the world changed. But when I went to MIT, I already had that experience. So it was more a professional challenge for me. As you know, MIT is probably the best university in the world, but with that comes a lot of demands. Okay, you need to be at that level. You need to be. You have here in Argentina, we are very competitive. So I went there. I know that we have 4 challenges, 4 prizes, and I won it all. So I worked for that. I got 3 or 4 out of 4. So for me, it was a really, really intense experience. We presented a project for Ralph Lauren apparel brands, New York. We won a prize for that. So everything was about how good you could be presenting your project, how good you can be getting your result, how good you can be working with different teams from different regions. And I had let's say I had an advantage on that side because of my experience at ESSEC, where I work with people from everywhere. So that's a little bit about my experience working at ESSEC, studying at ESSEC, and also at MIT.
Okay. Thanks,
I don't know if
thanks,
it was
Martin.
clear. Was
Yeah,
clear?
yeah. Of course, it was. Yeah, yeah. It was clear. Quite better. Good. So, given your experience, as I saw, so for the listeners who are viewing this session, my first experience to Argentina was, I would say, very homely, I would say. So usually we have a perception that a foreign land, it is quite different. But when I visited Cordoba, I saw that the families are very close-knit. So people
Mhm.
spend a lot of time with each other. A lot of group activities happen, which is a kind of characteristics also we see in smaller cities in India. So I would say that I did not see too much difference. Only maybe the skin color of people was different, the language was a bit different, but as far as the sentiment is concerned, it is quite Indian.
Yeah,
And
because we have a really, really strong Italian root. Okay, here in Argentina, we have a lot of family, which you can go there and you can see that they have Italian, Spanish root. Okay, we receive a lot of immigration during the First and the Second World War In fact, I have my Greek grandfather. They are from Italy. They are from Germany. They are from Brazil. So we are a mix of a lot of culture here in Argentina. But being being a really close family, being with friends, spend a lot of time with people is a really very Italian way of living. South Italian, okay, from the southern part
Okay.
of Italy, okay, Napoli and all those
Okay.
cities there. That's why we are uh, more like Italians here in Argentina.
Okay. So, given your experience of academics in Argentinian system to US to France, whatever learning and exposure you had, how did you apply it to your work? Whatever learning you had, how did
You
you
know,
apply in your work?
the thing that I learned during my experience in ESSEC and MIT, I think that I apply all those learnings every day, because here in my current position, I'm a leader for a region. So that means that I need to work with people from everywhere for other regions. We have 5 different regions, so I need to talk to people which is in United States, people who is in India, people who is in Europe. um, the experience that I have mostly at the SEC showed me that maybe the key for your professional's career, for your professional success in the companies, is that you need to have a really good communication skills. Okay,
Okay.
maybe you can be a really good at some technical point. You know a lot about this specific tool, but in order to succeed in a really global company, please be aware of this. You need to have a really good communication skill. That's the real difference. Okay, that will make you a global professional. That's why I say, okay, when I went to France, I had I have a really different idea of how the world was like. When I went there, I met you. I met people from Germany, Italy, United States, from Lebanon. I at that point, I hadn't have the opportunity to speak with people from Middle East. Okay, from Lebanon. You know, a lot of people from Lebanon at ESSEC. So I learned a lot. I acquired a lot of communication skill. I understand how they communicate. Okay, and those tools that I had that I acquired at that time, I'm still using every day, even when I have to speak with my Brazilian partners. I'm living in Argentina. I'm Argentinian, but I work most of my time. I work in Brazil. Okay, 90% of my work is in Portuguese, so I spend all of my day speaking in Portuguese. So
Okay.
you have to understand how Brazilian people think about a lot of things, and you need to be open to that. I need to be, and you have to, you have to transform the way you communicate here in Argentina for more a Brazilian way. And then when you are in a global meeting, you need to be careful about the way you speak with French people, German people, American people, Indian people. I think that's the key. That's the most important thing that I acquired in my experience. I learned a lot about management, a lot about tools, but communication skill is gonna make you. Is the things that is gonna give you a really advantage in your professional career. Just to give you an example, we have a CEO, global level, okay, and then we have a CFO, a global CFO. The previous one, he went to Brazil, and I have to make a presentation for him about 1 hour, presenting my area, presenting my our project, our challenges, and I felt that I was really outperforming that situation because of my knowledge about how people want to be presenting the data, breaking some rules. Then the last year, the new CFO Global, she also went to Brazil, and I had to repeat that experience. And again, my knowledge, my experience working with other culture, whether working with other people from different countries, give me that advantage over maybe other professionals. So communication skill is the key, guys, for you in this time and also in the future.
Sure, sure. Thanks, Martin. So how many languages have you picked up?
Today I can speak. I think that I'm confident speaking English. I know that I made a lot of mistakes, but I don't care because I keep moving. Okay, that's something that you need
No, no,
to
its English
understand.
is quite good. I would
Yeah,
say it is quite good. Maybe only the bit of pauses, but you speak quite good
yeah, I
English,
need to practice
even
more
from an
because
instant.
90% of my time I'm speaking Portuguese here. I'm working with
Okay,
Brazil, so Portuguese is my second language, I could say. Of course, I speak Spanish. I speak Portuguese. I can speak English. I speak
French.
French. Is out of the day, but I can speak. If we just give me 1 week, I'm gonna be there again. And also a little bit with Italian, but I need to retake my classes. But it's not about how many language you can speak. It's about how you can communicate with others. That's the real thing. I could speak Portuguese perfectly, but maybe I wouldn't be able to communicate the things that I want to communicate to different people.
Sure, sure. So, given that you have moved across geographies and seen a lot of changes over past decade, what do you see implication of digital transformation in maybe, let's say, the industry in which you are, let's say, automobile sector? How is it going to affect?
Sorry, it's that I couldn't hear the question.
Okay.
The voice is really
Yeah, so
low.
I was
Sorry.
okay, okay. So I was just asking the digital transformation, which is
Yeah,
because of advent of IT, how is it going to affect automobile sector? Because
it's
Stellantis
gonna
works
change
in that.
everything. It's changing everything. I think that we had a really good movement before the COVID. Okay, it was stopped, but then it start again. But again, let's say for Stellantis, our vision is to become a mobility tech company. Okay, that's the vision of the
Okay,
company. We are moving to that goal. We are moving to that vision. We are working a lot of within finance area to support that vision. Okay, we also are becoming a tech area. Let's say 2 years ago, nobody was talking about robot process automation. Nobody was working about AI. Nobody was working about introducing a data mindset. But now today we're working a lot. We have implemented more than 200 RPAs in our processes.
okay,
We have been training our people on data mindset. We're training our managers. Uh, if you really understand the implication and the challenges of a digital transformation, you're gonna be sure that you need to be moving every day. Every day you have to be doing small steps. Small step. It's an accumulation of thousands of small steps that is gonna make you transform the way you work, the way you think, the way you understand the future. But digital transformation is changing everything in our industry. Just to give you an example, let's say 10 years ago we were able to talk about the car maker industry. Okay, we could agree that okay, 10 years ago all everything was about Ford, Chevrolet, Volkswagen Europe, Peugeot, Fiat. That's the car maker industry. Now is the mobility industry. It's no longer a product oriented industry. It's a service industry. So the competitive landscape has changed. It's no longer about Volkswagen, Stellantis, Ford, Volkswagen. Now it's about Apple. Now it's about Tesla. Now it's about a lot of competitors, even those who produce phones. So I think that everything is changing. Maybe it's not changing as fast as we thought before the COVID, but it's changing and it's speeding up in the next year.
okay.
But
Great.
again,
There,
it's
yeah,
also it's always about people. Okay,
agreed.
it's always about people.
Agreed, agreed. Because ultimately the people have to drive it. So the mindset
That's the
need to
biggest
come.
battle. You can have the technology is given. The technology is moving, is evolving. But the real battle is how you change the way people think. Is it's amazing when you see people changing the way they think, changing the way they see things, how they can expand the view, how they can challenge the status quo, how they can challenge the way they think and say, okay, it's like a free someone, okay, from something really really old, and the kids they start thinking, oh no, you know what, we could do something. You know what, I now understand that what I was doing yesterday, it can improve for tomorrow, and I can help other people to do that. So that's the real battle that we have, because technology is improving every day. If you have the money, you can buy technology, but you cannot buy mindset. So you have to
Mindset.
work on mindset.
Agreed. No, that's a beautiful point, Martin, you gave that the mindset cannot be bought. It has to be, people have to
No,
be
you can.
trained, they have to be convinced, they have to be aligned towards the goal. Agreed. Very 100%. So another aspect which we are saying maybe in the two four-wheeler segment is a lot of electric vehicle adoption. So what is your assessment of it? Is it very market specific, or EV pan globally it is going to
I
do
think
some serious
I
growth?
think that I'm not an expert in the issue. I'm not speaking in the name of Stellantis, because I'm not a specialist in that. But I think that it's not going to be the same situation for everyone in the world. It's going to be according to the region. For example, here in South America, I don't think that electric vehicle is going to be a huge success, because we have another fuel sources. Okay, here in Brazil, you have bio. I don't know how to say this word. Fuel that can be
Biofuel you
used.
can use. Yeah, yeah.
Biofuel. We have a lot of biofuel. In Brazil, had a lot of experience already working with biofuel, and the impact on the environment is lower than electric vehicles. Okay, because okay, I go
Okay.
there really happy driving my electric vehicle. I'm not contaminating anything. But in order to produce that electricity, you have to create a lot of pollution and contamination. So I think that it's not going to be the same for everyone. Also, you need a huge investment from the government, okay, in order to adapt everything. It's not like in United States. You have Tesla. Tesla did a lot of things. It push boundary, push the industry. South America as a very different region. I don't think we're gonna have the heavy investment from the government. Okay, so we have another option. But now, is this gonna be that way? Other way? I don't know. I'm not a specialist, but at
Okay.
least here in the region we have different options. I know that maybe there in Europe they don't have this biofuel option. We have that option here, and I think that maybe electric cars are not gonna be adopted as fast as it could be in other region.
And of course, in South America, I think Venezuela has huge amount of oil reserves also, and
Yeah,
probably other sources would also. As far as running cost is concerned, as you rightly said, electricity production is not something which is non-polluting. Only
no,
when people see the end that okay, you are just using battery in the car, but
yeah.
electricity production, if you see, okay, that is also a
There's
lot
a
of
lot of
polluting
pollution.
activities.
Yeah, you feel good because you are not contaminating, but in order to produce that electricity, you have to contaminate a lot. Okay, and now here in the region, we don't have a lot of nuclear plants to produce energy, clean energy. No, that's not the way. We have a lot of. We in Argentina had that option, but in Brazil, you don't have that option. You don't have that option in other countries like Colombia, Chile. So I think that we are gonna take a different path um, in the in the in the industry. But I don't know.
Okay.
I'm speaking about the region, okay, not the company. But I don't know. Things change really really fast. Maybe next year we have a different technology. Nobody knows. Okay, technology is evolving really really fast. But so far, those are the options for us in South America.
Agreed, agreed. So, given that you talked about a lot of your academic activities at MIT and ESSEC, apart from these academic activities, what were the non-academic activities in which you involved yourself, which enriched your experience and you built connection with people? If you could just.
Apart from being working like crazy at MIT, if I need to speak about my experience, I think that one of the things that I did, I think that I read really well during my experience in ESSEC and also in MIT. I try to speak with as many people as possible. I didn't stay with my just with my partners from Argentina, South America. I spent a lot of time with people from everywhere. Okay, I was hungry for experiences. I was trying to speak with all the people. I remember that I took a taxi in certain city and started speaking with the driver. Okay, just to improve my French, and then I just went to a club. I started speaking with everyone. Um, if you're thinking about having an international experience, you really need to get out of your comfort zone. Okay, one of the most um, important mistake that you can make is to stay just with your friends, just with your comfort zone. People from South America, in my case, who speak Spanish, or maybe people from Europe, from Spain, who can speak Spanish. So you need to go there, and you need to be able to be challenged the way you think, the way you see the world. You're gonna be ready. You have to be ready to feel uncomfortable, because it's not easy to see your belief being challenged. Okay, I remember that I was in France at a supermarket, and I saw Muslim people. Okay, that was the first time here in South America. It's very different from any other part of the world. We are really far from Europe, from Middle East, from everyone. So we don't have that mix of people and culture that you have there in maybe in Europe. So for me, it was the first time that I saw Muslim people, Chinese people making buying things, discussing other stuff, and I went there. Okay, well, what are you doing this? What is this kind of product for you? How do you cook these things? You need to be curious about everything. You need to be curious,
Agree.
because um, I, you have to become a world citizen. You know, you can be a tourist all your life, but you only have the opportunity to become a world citizen when you have these kind of experiences. What is a world citizen? Is someone that can go to a train station, can go to a airport, to get a ticket, to get a plane, to go to Europe, to India, to rent an apartment, make a living, and to feel like he's in home. Okay, at home. So you had to be curious about everything and everyone. Have conversation, ask question, spend time with them. Even if you think, okay, no, it's not something that I'm gonna like a lot. Don't worry, just go there. It's just an experience. Okay, share time. I remember the night. I think it was you and the German people prepared hot wine. I remember that night at the
Okay.
side of the tennis court. It was crazy. It was really, really cold. Okay, I would have never done this here in Argentina because we don't drink hot wine. Okay, but it was an experience.
Yeah.
I remember that, and so you need to be, you have to be ready to challenge your belief. Okay, you need to be open to that, and your body. Let me tell you this: your body sometimes is gonna defend from those feelings. Okay, say, okay, I don't want to be here. I don't. But it's okay. It's okay. You are exposing yourself to the world. The world is not like you think. It's a very
Agreed.
open, different place where a lot of people think in different way, and you need to understand how you live with them.
Agreed, agreed. So yeah, I quite resonate with that, Martin. And Martin, with what I had experienced, he was much more open, reaching out to people, learning languages. If I have to give my example, I had also enrolled for a French class, but unfortunately, I did not find too much interest, so I dropped out the class. But Martin continued it, and of course, he was very engaging with people. Maybe it was my first experience being outside India. And similarly, which we were just talking about our common friend Padmanabhan, something which he had also mentioned in our interaction, that networking, connecting with people, going out of your comfort zone is very, very important. If one remains, like as Martin said, just a tourist, within the close group with which you go at a different place, you will not learn anything. So you have to be feel challenged, go out of comfort zone. So thank you, Martin, for sharing that. So now we are almost at the end of the this session. In case, based on your experiences, if you have two prospective persons who are wanting to maybe, let's say, pursue academic program or professional pursuits in a different geography, in case you have to suggest some two, three things, you can summarize also what you said in the earlier. In case you have to mention some two, three things which will help them get better international immersion, learn more things, what those two, three things would be,
I
if you
think
could.
that the first thing is, do not feel ashamed. Okay, you're gonna make a
Yeah.
lot of mistake. Okay, you're gonna make a lot of mistake. When I first get into Châtelet, okay, the train station in Paris, I was also I was almost crying. Okay, I was lost. Nobody was helping me. I don't know how. Somebody helped me, and I got the residence as a Gilo, and then my experience started away. But don't worry, you had to make mistake, you had to learn from them. So if you feel that you want to learn how to speak French, go there. Don't do like Siddhartha. Don't leave the classes. Go there, make mistake, speak like a 2 years old baby. It doesn't matter, nobody cares. If that person is laughing at you, don't worry, you're not going to see that person in 10 years. So go there, don't be ashamed, make mistake. The second thing, I think that the one I said before, share, look for experiences, talk with people, go to different places. Do not stay in your comfort zone, because in order to grow, you need to nurture your mind, your soul, your spirit with different things. And the third thing is practice your communication skill. Okay,
Sure.
and in order to do that, you need to know people. Okay, and be open to that. Let me give you an example. I had a meeting last year with someone. I'm not gonna say the country, but I worked with that people for 20 years. So in the middle of the discussion, she raised her voice and started screaming on the meeting, and all of a sudden, all the people next to me, they start looking at me like saying, "Okay, she's screaming at you," and I say, "She's not screaming." That's the way these people in their culture they present the problem, and they try to work on that. They're not screaming, but you need to be exposed to that situation in order to understand how people behave, how you can be a better professional, a better person, a better human in those situations. So go there, don't be ashamed, make mistakes, feel lost, uh, learn how to communicate with people, and that is going to give you a lot of good moment in your professional and personal life. And also, you're going to pass that experience for your children.
Agreed, agreed. So thank you, Martin, for spending an early morning from Cordoba and making time for
Thank you,
this
guys.
meeting. I personally also learned a couple of things, few things I refreshed, revised. So thank you for those experiences also.
Thank
And I'm
you,
quite
and let's keep
hopeful
this channel open.
those who
If you
have,
have any question,
yes,
just
sure,
contact me. Okay,
sure,
people,
sure.
have a great
So,
day.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so just remain there, Martin. I'll stop the live stream.